As a little kid, I was a huge fan of SpongeBob. I had all the episodes on VHS, all the merchandise my mom could afford, and I even had a SpongeBob room. The walls painted yellow with green holes. But after the SpongeBob movie, the episodes they put out were complete crap. I could no longer watch the show and I'm tired of it. One night, I happened to wake up at around 1 a.m. and decided to watch TV. I scrolled through the guide, and it said an episode of SpongeBob was coming on Nick at Night. I found it strange, as SpongeBob usually doesn't air this late. I thought I would watch it, for old time's sake. I settled in to watch the episode, and the time card showed Rock Motto. I didn't remember this one. It must be a new episode. But I swear for one split second of that episode, I saw a face. The episode began with a picture of SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward acting silly in a group photo, which was very uncharacteristic of Squidward, as I remember. But something was very odd about that photo. Where the trio's eyes should have been, there were only black holes. I found this very off, but I remembered that the new SpongeBob episodes were like this, so I kept watching. The screen became staticky, but through that static it showed Mr. Krabs skipping rope with his own eyes. It then cut to black for a second, then showed SpongeBob staring off into a black sky with a giant, hyper-realistic Squidward looking back at him. It then showed a still picture of Patrick carrying a hammer with a 2x4 nailed into his head. The hairs on his stomach read, 666. He was talking in a very distorted voice, so much that I could barely understand a word he was saying, though I could swear it was his SpongeBob quote from Lost Identity. The screen went staticky again and showed SpongeBob with black dots for eyes. He appeared to be carrying a knife and was missing a tooth. This next part was the worst. It was a picture of Plankton through very light static. He had this horrifically disturbing face that was so detailed and scary. Then it made the hairs on the back of my neck stand straight up. The screen then zoomed out of SpongeBob's TV. "Huh, that was scary, huh, Gary?" SpongeBob said to his pet snail. I felt relieved that it was all just a program that SpongeBob was watching. Then there was a knock on the door of SpongeBob's pineapple home. "Come in," the yellow sponge chimed. Then Patrick appeared, his pupils missing. "SpongeBob, I had to touch you!" Patrick then disappeared. SpongeBob looked down his door, frightened. "Hey, a box!" He walked over to the box. "Hey, who's there?" Patrick's laughing could be heard in the background. It then showed Patrick advancing towards SpongeBob. The screen then cuts to black, though SpongeBob's horrified screams can still be heard. His eyes open, and he sees Patrick with black holes for eyes, holding a knife. It then said alternate scene, but that was just SpongeBob and Patrick jumping into the box. The animation then got jumpy, and it showed a picture of the Krusty Krab behind a completely black sky. "The Krusty Krab," SpongeBob's voice proclaimed. SpongeBob's finger puppet appeared on top, and the camera went inside the Krusty Krab. The camera was as if it was a 1930s cartoon. The screen was gray, but SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs all have enlarged features, while the extremely disturbed Plankton was in the background. Ah, that's better. But then SpongeBob's Glove World flashlight went out. Patrick's laughing could be heard in the background, and for a second, a disturbing Patrick with very real features can be seen. "Hey, if I close my eyes, it doesn't seem too dark." SpongeBob's famous line is followed by him being eaten alive by spiders. SpongeBob then proceeds to run. The next few scenes were very staticky. An extremely disturbing SpongeBob appeared through the screen with real features just as disturbing as Plankton's and Patrick's. It then showed a picture of SpongeBob with black eyes for a second, then Squidward choking on a fork while it zoomed into a picture of the Holocaust. Then a still of a Squidward hanging Patrick with black holes for eyes. It then showed an episode of Roseanne, but I was so scared by that time and I could barely even blink. Every time I did, it showed that image of Plankton. It still haunts my memory for this day. And so does the rest of the episode. I tried to tell people, but they didn't believe me. I don't sleep that much since I watched the episode. Every time I do, I wake up with cuts on my arms and a vivid memory of the episode. Please, someone help.
SpongeBob! The SpongeBob! Oh, I SpongeBob!
Presentation.
That was scary, Gary. Come in.
SpongeBob, I have to touch you!
Hey, a box. Hey, who's there?
You gotta get underneath it!
The Krusty Krab. Ah, that's better. Hey, if I close my eyes, it doesn't seem so dark.